Firefight.
The Covenant are advancing through your sector. You need to stop them in their tracks.
Hello and welcome to this update video for my channel. It's been a while and there are definitely things to talk about, and hopefully I can remember them all. But first things first, obviously, if you're watching this and you've had any interest in Active War, then you probably know that Active War has finished. We are completely done with that now, finished the expansion, had a lot of fun. But I will say I'm not that sad to see it go, because recording it was a bit of a pain. I believe the last episode came in at just under 3 hours for the live version of it, which actually recording the episode took well over 3 hours after editing and such. So and that's part of the reason, on top of, you know, family schedules and that interfere with my ability to record, and obviously work scheduling with overtime and such. That's part of the reason why the quantity of my videos dropped off. And I'm hoping that with with that gone, and with my work schedule generally easing up, I still have overtime here and there, and in fact I just put in some this week, and I quite possibly will next week too, but I'm hoping that overtime starts to go down. But even if it doesn't, it's been not as bad as in the past. So I think between that and the fact that I've got a bit more energy as of late means we should hopefully be able to expect some more episodes in general coming up. It's not a promise, but it is something I'm going to work for. And to start with, obviously, the Delta Force slot is going nowhere. Not anytime soon. We still have 2 campaigns to go in Extreme, and then however many are in Extreme 2. Which, that one I've never played, so that'll be interesting to see if they actually did any changes from the base game. Or the original game? First game? I don't know, however you want to slice it. But in the event, depending on how quickly it does go, it might just turn into a Nova Logic slot eventually. I think that's where I'll go with it. So I'll start playing games like maybe Join Ops. Does have a kind of single player component to it. Then obviously F-22, MiG-29, Comanche, and Armored Fist games would probably be next for that slot. But I think that's still a little ways in the future. Replacing Active War, though, replacing that is probably going to be Starfleet Academy. I've been, I know it's been many months now since I originally showed my view frame concept in a video a while back. But I completely redid it from the ground up, and I actually rather like this new version of the view frame that I think will help make viewing it more immersive, and, you know, just be a good way to test and increase my own artistic ability, or I guess rather graphic design ability, while also using up that black space on the side. So I'll probably attach a little bit of that, of my current test, to the end of this video, because I am really happy with it.
Double kill.
And I think it's going to turn out well. It's not, I guess I misspoke earlier, it's not going to start this week, because I still need to purchase some software to finish. Because I used a plugin so I could take some assets from Starfleet Academy and use them in my view frame. But And it worked very well, but using the free version puts the watermark over their stuff, which, you know, that's fair. So I don't have anything in the budget for software purchases this week, so I'm putting in, or rather for last week, so it's in the budget for when I get paid this week at the end of the week. So I would expect the first episode to maybe come out next week. Recording shouldn't take too long. I still have to do a little bit of research during the series because I want to insert Chekhov's missions, which is an expansion for the game, into the playthrough. Now, that was kind of like an expansion of, oh, here's missions my understanding is they were missions that were cut from the game due to time, and eventually they finished it up and sold it as an expansion pack. They aren't integrated in any way, they're just a mission you choose from, like, the mission select list, essentially. And so some of them do actually reference or complement storylines in the original game, so I want to, you know, well, first I got to get Chekhov's missions working, because it's not included in any of the GOG or Steam versions, to my knowledge. So there's that little hiccup, but then I want to incorporate the missions in such a way that they actually make sense and complement the storyline. Which, again, that's going to be a little research. There's only 8, so it's not too terribly much. But that's not going to stop this series from getting off the ground. I think I can easily do at least the first 4 missions before having to worry about integrating those. So there is that. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, so as of me recording this video, I have hit 208 subscribers, which is, ow, that hurt, but not as much as I thought. I hit 208 subscribers, which is more than I ever thought I would hit when I started recording. And I know I say that every time, but it's because it's true every time. I didn't expect to reach 100, let alone, you know, 200, 253, or whatever I end up hitting in the future. So, but I know I originally tried to do something for the 100 subscriber special, and that didn't really go anywhere, unfortunately, which is partly my fault, because that suffered from scope creep that came out of originally just something I was doing by myself on my own time for me, which was just seeing how, like, a U.S. carrier battle group would do against a Chinese attack without, you know, any air wing support or anything like that. Just what do the ship's defenses, what are those capable of with the addition of an E-2D versus, you know, a Chinese missile onslaught. And so I'm like, okay, well, let's take this and expand this, and I expanded it too much to the point where it became this futuristic multinational carrier group. And the scope just grew to be so large, especially with the way you can't edit planes like you can ships. Unfortunately, in the game, there are a lot. There's loadouts for planes, unfortunately, which means that you can't. If you add a weapon to them, they only get added for that mission while it's in flight. And I was adding sensors to each aircraft individually, and it was just a huge time sink. So I think what I'm going to do to prevent that scope creep is to basically set milestones for myself. Like, you know, now we're going to do 200 subscriber special, and it's going to be closer to what the original scenario was, with the just a single near-modern U.S. carrier battle group. The only real futuristic thing I'll be including is the aircraft loadouts will be the latest available, which range from, I believe, 2023 to 2028. And then I'll have a large surface combatant substitute based on some of the information that was released last week to the public in that concept art, which is basically just going to be a soup. It's basically, as far as I can tell, the initial flights of the large surface combatant are basically just going to be the 2020 equivalent of the cruiser baseline program that was floated in the early 90s that would have basically built new or rebuilt the original Tychos up to the Burke standards of technology. And that's basically what this is going to be. So it's basically going to be a Flight 3 Burke, but with 128 cells instead of 96 cells, I think. And maybe if there's a few unique systems to the Tychos, they might get that too. But much more limited in scope than that original scenario I was trying to build, where there was going to be like a US battle group, a European battle group, an Asian battle group. And then of course there was going to be competing Chinese and Russian battle groups on top of the Chinese land batteries and their ground-based aviation, as well as, you know, the Russian stuff. And it was basically like I was trying to narrow it so it was just this battle, but really it was at the scale of like a theater level of war, so it was just really bad. And maybe I'll return to that, but as like 1,000 subscriber special or something. So this 200 subscriber special, which I'll start doing making of videos this week, which I'll probably try to limit in length to a little bit. That's gonna be more or less the replacement for Active War Direct Action. Additionally, on top of Starfleet Academy and the 200 subscriber special, something I'm gonna try to do is resume work on Fighters Anthology, because it's been way too long since I last played that, and I want to finish making that custom mission. There's I did a little bit of work on it off camera, mainly checking out the land to see, like, okay, you know, how whack is my unit placement? Do I just need to tweak it a little bit to get them on land, or is it complete nonsense? You know, so I've been doing a little bit of that, but I'd like to finish that scenario. There's also the outstanding issue with the the frickin' the PU-22Ms that were deciding to take a road trip across Cuba. I still gotta look into that bug too, so there's still some work to be done on that, and hopefully eventually schedules will align and my brother and I will be able to work on doing the rest of the single missions in multiplayer, because that is something I would like to finish, because then after that can you move on to USN Raptors playset, which will probably last me for like another 3 years, since he's redone basically the most of the campaign and stuff, and by all accounts looks pretty impressive and fun. So that's something I look forward to, but that will probably be more on and off work, because obviously I can't dictate someone else's schedule, and that's really where the bulk of the hang-up is on coordinating that schedule, because, you know, they have a life, they have a job, they have a work they want to do as well, you know, things they want to do. But once I get over that hang-up, then I think things will be looking up for basically making that a permanent, or de facto permanent part of the channel again. Other than that, the only other thing that might make its way into the rotation is if I feel I have enough time between the subscriber special, the Starfleet Academy, and any work I do on Fighters Anthology, then I might, and Delta Force, and I might try getting a new strategy game set up on the channel for just as a change of pace before I inevitably return to Command and Conquer. I'm thinking of something like ground control, which was a game whose demo I played a lot back in my childhood. And I'm curious to see how well that game holds up, because I certainly enjoyed it in my childhood, although I didn't fully understand the game back then because I was a little too young for it. But there's definitely... I played a couple missions of it, which is basically just what the demo was, since getting on GOG a couple of years ago, and it's definitely intriguing me. So I would definitely enjoy the chance to play that, given the opportunity. And it's a tactical strategy game as opposed to a strategic strategy game. Real-time tactics, I suppose, as opposed to real-time strategy. And what that basically means, for those who don't know, is that there's no base building, there's no resource gathering. I have a limited number of units, and that's all I get. That can grow over the course of the campaign as more units get assigned to me, but then conversely, when they die, they are permanently gone. You know, they don't come back. I do believe they get, like, if they're damaged or wounded, they get replenished between missions, but that's about it. So it's very much, in my opinion, a much more difficult game, since, you know, you can't make up for one stupid blunder with a lot of resource gathering and a little bit of luck. You know, you're out that unit for the rest of the campaign. That affects the rest of your campaign, not just, you know, that particular mission. So I think it'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, that's only if I have the time, though, which, excuse me, I'm hoping I will. But I guess we'll find out, because, you know, this would take me almost to to the levels before I left or was laid off from my previous job, so. But that about sums it up, I think. So basically, in short, to summarize, next week, well, this week, expect the first episode of the subscriber special building scenario build and the continuation of Delta Force, of course. Next week, you can expect the first episode of Star Trek Starfleet Academy on top of building the subscriber special scenario and Delta Force. Beyond that, there may be intermittent episodes of Fighters Anthology or Ground Control. And I think that about sums everything up for the time being. So with that, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for next time, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you then.
Course laid in, Captain.
Lower shields have been hit. Forward shields down to 50%. Forward shields are critical, sir. Lower shields repaired. We've completed repairs on the tractor beam, sir. Lower shields down to 50%. Lower shields are critical, sir. Forward shields repaired. Forward shields have been hit. Forward shields are critical, sir. Forward shields repaired.
Object is out of range.
Forward shields repaired.
Course laid in.
Mission objective complete.
Hailing frequency open.
Everything is going. Mission accomplished, Starfleet.
Congratulations. You have dealt with overwhelming odds in a manner consistent with the best traditions of Starfleet.